Infuriated by denial, ashamed of inadequacy, embarrassed by embarrassment. For any man who's ever been curved by a self-respecting woman, now there's a solution. Call that bitch something mean. In fact, why don't we meet one of our followers now? Take it away, Todd.
I was embarrassed. Here I am catcalling this smoke show out the window of my best friend's ride, and she has the audacity to deny me? But after calling her a slut, I feel much better. I can go on about my day.
You are not alone. Dozens of men every weekend experience this inadequacy in front of their bras. But now, there's hope. Call that bitch something mean. Because after all, if she won't sleep with you, she must be crazy, right?
Warning, calling girls with sharp pointy heels bad names may result in getting that bigot ass whoop being known as that guy and does not actually gain you any more props from anyone. Ask your doctor if calling that bitch something mean is right for you.
Back at it again.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Back at it again for the first time ever. So, lunch in the morning at 6 p.m. Wake up and smell what's cooking. So this is lunch, bag, one word, two G's. And to my left is Larry O, two H's. Self-explanatory. And if you're tuned in right now, that means you are very early to the party on the first page of the new history. This is Lunch in the Morning, the podcast starring any and everybody. We're over here at BO8 Studios, and we're just going to catch a vibe. We're going to see if we like this thing. We'll see if we fucking hate it, too.
Try it out.
Anywho. Life's been unreal for the past 24 hours. Hempfest was a start.
Wild.
I don't remember much of it. You know?
Hempfest.
I remember a bunch of very quiet attendees, though. Like we were walking through the lane, the cutway, and it was just like salmon swimming upstream, but nobody was kicking, nobody was fighting.
That's
we were just thinking, what kind of
Hempfest.
what would the difference be from this and like PVD Fest, where like alcohol is flowing freely?
Heavily involved.
It's like I was looking around at all the debris on the ground. It's like there really ain't much. Their volunteers the next day are gonna have a easy day.
I
Gonna go home early.
I think it made a huge difference. Like being just like everybody getting high and smoking weed.
It was insane. I mean, it was so insane that even at the main stage, when people were performing and saying things like, make some fucking noise, it would still be kind of quiet, relatively speaking, because everybody's like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh my
I
God,
want to, bro, but I just can't.
Like, oh my God, I love it. You're amazing.
Those are the ones that they won't be able to do anything, but then you run into them after the performance. It's like, bro, listen to me, man. You're going to do it. You're going to do it all. And I sense that. When you were up there, bro, just keep that positive nature.
Yep.
Give you some crazy feedback, you know?
Yep.
I don't know. I jumped out stage and because I'm who I am, was like, what the fuck is up? Like yelling. And there was a delay. It was like I said, make some noise. And then it was quiet. And then I said it again. And they kicked up again.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing, like playing shows that are mainly like
stoned people.
Stoners, yeah, which is dope because you know that they're connecting, but like they're just stoned. Everybody's stoned and wants to chill, and
you interact with it on a different way. You know, when the music is coming through your, I don't know, your ears.
Yeah,
I guess would be, and when you're drunk versus when you're fucking blazed out of your mind. I like it more when I'm blazed, to be honest. Music is the best when you're, the studio is the best place. Like, wherever I'm most comfortable is where I like to be when I'm stoned. Whatever comes naturally. Music, painting.
That's anybody that smokes or dabs or does edibles, whatever, will say like, if you ask them what's the most fun you have when you're stoned, it's probably them. I bet you like 8 times out of 10 somebody says, I love listening to music when I'm stoned. That's like one of the top. It's got to be one of the top 3 things that they do when they're high.
Yeah. Have you ever tripped on weed? That sounds crazy, right? It sounds like I'm smoking the marijuana cigarettes. You ever tripped on the weed? No, but have you ever, though?
Like
what do you mean maybe
by
just blacked out?
Blacked out? Maybe no.
Okay.
But smoked too much? Yes. And just maybe freaked out a little bit?
Okay.
Yep.
What happened? Walk me through it. I need to know. It's just you and I.
Yeah, that's it. Involved me running naked down child. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh, shit.
No. But just smoking too much, man. It turns on me once I smoke like a little bit too much. I know my limit now. It just turns on me, and I get
I don't know.
up.
The one time that I had a really bad trip, I guess it would be on weed, was I was at my boy's house, and he had a jacuzzi. So, we go to the jacuzzi, all of us, like 3 or 4. And we're smoking in the jacuzzi. We get out, and it was probably like maybe February, something weird. Not, summertime vibe at all. And we get out of the jacuzzi, and I swear to God, not a couple minutes later, I'm like, the vision just goes, and I'm just like, all right, it's time to sit down. I honestly think it was something to do with like just the temperature change going so quickly. That was the only way I could figure that out in my mind. But you could have been
dehydrated too, because hot tubs and jacuzzis will, if you stay in them too long, you'll dehydrate the shit out of yourself. Like
that could have been it.
Getting out dehydrated and high at the same time could have did it. Could have done it.
Like anything negative while you're high.
Yeah.
Like being cold is the worst thing. Like when we were at the wedding on Saturday, it started getting so cold, and I didn't pack a hoodie or nothing, and it was like
it was getting chilly.
I felt like I was gonna die a little bit. I was like, hold up, my muscles are shaking to keep me warm. Like that's how cold I am. My muscles are vibrating to get me warm.
That's one of the things that I like when I'm high. If it's like too cold outside, I can't stand it. Like I need the heat. Like instantly, like being cold.
Give me the heat any day. Yeah. Any day. I'll be, shorts and a t-shirt. But when I start having to layer shit up, oh my God.
Yep.
Wrap it up. No, it's not the moves.
I used to hate the summer. Now I'm starting to like hate the winter.
You used to hate the summer?
Yeah.
How could you hate the summer?
It's too hot for me.
It's too hot?
Yeah. Too hot.
Gotta be cooler dude, man. You gotta cool off.
Jump in a pool.
Jump in a pool, stay cool. How about that? PSA. Get everybody to buy pools by making these little commercials. You should buy one just because you want one, because you need one. That's crazy. I don't know. In-ground pool? Would you want an in-ground pool? That's not a bit, gratuitous to you?
What, if I had the money for it?
If you didn't have the money for it.
If I didn't have the money for it, then hell no. No way.
Like people who, it's like you'll see people that have $10,000, like it'll be some knockoff shit, but it'll look like $10,000, worth of gear right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, who are you flexing on? Because who are you think you're fooling? Because if you did that, you'd be bankrupt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know people who can buy a $10,000 T-shirt. If I do,
I wouldn't.
What the fuck am I doing wrong?
Even if I had $10 million in the bank, I couldn't buy a $10,000 T-shirt or a $300 T-shirt or a $500 pair of jeans or $1,000 pair of jeans.
I don't know.
Like I don't care about like clothes that much.
Give me deals all day. I don't know why.
Like it's just not something that I want to concern myself about. Like 15 minutes, a half an hour out of my day. Like I just want to get my clothes on and get out.
You're a man of I want to get out. Get out. Nah, man, you're a man of function. Very few people are in your caliber. Many people get fixated on that digestible first impressionable shit. And it's just you're lost.
But some people love it, so I get why people can love it. Like that's a passion of theirs to get dope clothes and, or expensive
collect.
clothes.
Yeah,
or collect.
you know,
I
there's some-
understand it. I totally understand it.
Like our boy over here in the polo, like he's fly as hell. AWOL in the polo.
AWOL's-
He's
AWOL
over there rubbing his chin because he's got something to say. I
He
feel
likes
like.
the fashion. He likes the get up here. Get
You're
over
talking
here.
about the fashion, bro. So, all right.
Hold on.
Or 300.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, got
What
you now.
up?
That's AWOL.
What's poppin'?
Would you spend $500 on a shirt?
This
Nah, I like fashion. I'm into this shit, but I'm not paying. I don't know.
when you bought your what was the most expensive thing you ever bought?
Ever?
Like
As
piece
like
of
a
clothing. Piece of
t-shirt.
clothing, yeah.
Like a yeah. Say it. What's the yeah?
I've spent $50 on a t-shirt.
That's it. Only
I spent
50
$50 bucks.
No, it's a lot, but
For
I
a
figured you might
t-shirt?
say 100 for like some special
Nah,
edition
man,
Preem
I
or
don't know.
something.
Nah,
You don't mess with Preem.
no, I'll buy some. Yo, for real,
Depends
I like
on the
Supreme.
collab.
I got some Supreme stuff. But I used to buy it and resell it.
Ah,
would
you were
buy
one of
Supreme-
those.
yeah,
they
I
made the
would resell
documentary
it.
about you.
Yeah, yep. So
See, that's a different. That's different.
But that was the thing. I would resell all this. I was reselling sneakers, and I would resell Supreme. And
So when you bought that $50 T-shirt, was it just a random one-time thing, or were you buying $50 T-shirts like?
nah, if
kinda
I
like a
really
thing you
like
were doing.
something, I'll spend the money.
Oh, okay.
If it's that serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now I won't really do it like
You
that.
never
Like,
got
I spent
addicted to
$250
like
on
sneakers or
before.
nothing. $250 on sneakers.
$250 on sneakers.
Okay.
I couldn't
300
even,
on
see, that's
some
the see.
Prada sneakers.
I can't do it.
300 on Prada sneakers.
Yeah.
God
I can't do
damn.
it. I can't do it.
But I don't do that shit anymore. Like, I got sneakers that are like $40.
You got to. It's that functionality that
Yeah.
that so much is missing nowadays. So all right, $300 on some sneakers.
Yeah.
How much were you? I'm not pocket watching. This is a
Right, right,
long
right.
time ago. How much were you bringing home? Like you were getting paid bi-weekly probably.
Yeah.
And how much were you taking home
had-
on a paycheck?
I had 2 jobs.
Oh,
And
all right.
I was flipping sneakers and stuff.
See, that's
So
different.
Yeah,
you
you
know.
got multiple income streams.
Yeah.
Anything that I was making off of the sneakers,
Yeah.
I would just invest in more sneakers, and that's what I would use to buy.
Would
know.
you- would
like
you
I
wear
might
'em
buy
out
3
once and
pairs at
then-
a time, sell 2, and mine was technically
Ah.
free. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Like I wasn't just some cats like hate on resellers. I wasn't just reselling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like some of this shit, but yeah, if you're not making, if I was only working at one job, like
Yeah.
I used to work at Expressions a while, like before.
Okay.
If I was just working that and spending my paycheck on,
Don't do
sneakers,
that.
Nah,
See, that's
you,
what it
you
comes
really
down
don't
to,
make,
people.
You really don't make enough to,
No.
you know what
warrant
I mean?
that at all. It doesn't warrant that at
No.
all. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. Is if you got the hustle to do it, then do it. A lot of people
Yeah.
just want to have like a one-time regular job, and then just flex out like every 2 weeks when they've saved up enough for like some knockoff
It's
shit.
not.
It's so sad.
You're, just
You're
hurting,
making
you're
fi-
hurting yourself in the long run. I think.
Absolutely.
How
It's
do you
just-
live?
How do you actually though? Like
If you're making $15 an hour and you work 30, 40 hours a week,
insanity,
you're not.
bro.
Why are you spending $200, $250 on Jordans?
You should be.
You really can't afford
yeah.
it in like the big picture. You know what I mean? Like you got to eat and live. I don't know.
Speaking of eating, bro, you getting swole on me. You look like you hitting
What?
the gym. Look like you hitting the gym.
Yeah, man.
Going hit LA Fitness, right?
Yep.
Over there.
Yeah, yeah.
I was over at LA Fitness for a while.
What are you benching?
What are you benching?
It's what,
Hit the gym with them. Find out.
225.
That's the question everybody asks
What you
when
bench?
you go to the gym. What do you bench?
Nah,
what do you
I've been
bench?
doing this moving job too.
Yo, so
Moving people's
that's
so it's
furniture.
lit
That
for
shit's
you.
a
Yeah.
workout, man.
Yeah.
I was
Up
over
and
at LA
downstairs.
Fitness for a while, bro. But the thing is, they don't wipe down the machines or anything over there. They're really kind of dirty. I'm not gonna lie.
That's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
Don't contribute to it, you know?
No, I gotta wipe down every time. Every time I finish on something, mats, all that shit. Wipe it down, cause
Who
you don't
had
want
the
to
song? Was it Lil Boozy?
wipe. Yeah, wipe me
Was
down
it
for real.
Boosie?
Listen to that when you go to the gym. Just listen to that nonstop. Wipe it
Yo.
down, bitch. Wipe it the fuck down.
Yeah, man.
But I peeped that, and I'm a major like germaphobe. I'm like not into that shit at all. Get the fuck out of here. You're not wiping down the machine.
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
not.
bad.
But what's lit is the sauna.
Yo,
The
I
sauna's
yeah,
so
man.
dope. It's so dope for you.
Hell
Like
yeah.
so much good shit comes out of just sitting in that room for like 5 minutes.
The sauna's awesome.
It flushes out toxins in your body.
LA Fitness has a sauna.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah, son.
It
I've been
does
trying
that.
to
I
I've been
mean,
trying to get into a sauna.
It obviously, yeah, bro.
Yo,
It's-
LA Fitness,
it,
man.
it does help. I mean,
need
I
a
would
new gym
never.
membership.
Do it.
So
LA
LA
Fit-
Fitness or Planet Fitness? Which one?
I go to Planet Fitness. That's just me.
Mhm.
I mean, I like the prices better. To be honest, I mean,
And
like
plus, I feel like if you
25
travel a lot, it's better too for Planet Fitness.
I mean, LA Fitness is everywhere too, and you can get memberships that are,
So you can,
inclusive of
travel-
all of them
so
across
say
the
if, like,
joint.
if you travel a lot, like you can hit one in Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. That was super important to me, which is, I mean, LA Fitness is quickly, like, shooting up all over the place, though. I mean, they're opening a new one, I think, in Attleboro. They're everywhere. I mean, power to them. I like the fact that they got a sauna. I would pay to just go to the sauna.
Sauna's dope.
They got a
That's
pool. It's like, come on. Like, a couple days I was getting, like, really sore
Mhm.
because I was just going hard every single day on impact
Yeah.
workouts. So I would just hit up the pool. Low impact cardio work.
Mhm.
Fucking serious, yeah.
I need to get in.
You don't even
I
think
need
the
to get
pool is
into the
that
gym.
that hard to swim in? Yo, pool's fucking hard.
That's a
swimming.
full body workout.
It's insane.
Swimmers are some of the athletes that are in like
Some
the
of the
best
tip
shape.
top
man.
shape.
Yeah.
Like, they're in
Same-
super good
Some of the
shape.
best athletes in the world.
Athletes.
Some of the best ass feats in the world.
Athletes. Some of the best.
Some of the best ass sheets.
Some of the best ass cheeks. I hear it's them,
Too much.
baseball players and golfers.
I'm
I don't know
cool.
if is the golf thing a fucking urban legend. I heard it was because it's like such a hard sport because you have to focus or something, or is that some
What
elitist
is it?
bullshit? Golf,
As far as athleticism,
No.
like it's like
I don't think
it's walking.
it's nothing. I don't think it's.
I think
anything.
it's the focus though.
well
Yeah.
mentally maybe.
Yeah.
maybe mentally. I don't physically. I don't think that's
But
why
a
that's
lot
why
of it is
golfers-
mental though.
Yeah, it is. Are you asking like how physical is it? Like are they good
The
athletes?
swing,
I've
attention,
no,
You have to
I've
be
heard,
athletic.
you know?
I've heard in some statistical category they are extremely adept athletes.
Really?
Whether it's not
You have to be.
not taking out the factor of athleticism, which
Yeah.
might hinder them because like you guys, you're walking and karting everywhere. But if you're also measuring like brainwave activity, I don't fucking
No,
know.
yeah.
Maybe these golfers are fucking John Nash.
Golf is a
of,
hard sport. golf is
Is
a
that
hard
John? It was the mathematician. Yo,
John Nash.
John motherfucking Nash, coordinating ties.
Golf is a tough sport. I can't do it to save my life. I couldn't
Yeah.
to get that
You gotta
tiny little
smack a
ball,
golf
in,
ball.
in a hole that's just a little bit bigger than the ball.
Yeah, it's
300, 400 yards away.
they fucking go in.
And you're aiming too.
You're
You're aiming.
and there's wind,
There's wind,
and there's
resistance.
hills, there's water, there's sand.
Matter
What
of
are
fact,
those-
that shit is stressful, man.
What are the, I'm saying it's a high intensity fucking sport. Golfers
should all
don't
be
get
bald,
their credit.
man.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
tough,
They're
but
bald.
physically,
No wonder Tiger
physically,
Woods
it's one of the
did
only sports.
He looks rough, doesn't he? He looks
Yeah.
terrible.
Who?
Tiger
Yeah.
Woods.
Oh,
You thought it was because of all the domestic violence disputes. It's
stress.
because he was a fucking golfer. He stressed the fuck out.
He's stressed out.
High
Man.
intensity, bro. And then baseball players are. It might not be that they're in great shape. It's just that they're the most paid. I sometimes mess up these stats.
I think baseball's high paid. It is. I think basketball's higher. Though.
They do double headers all the time and shit. So of
Yeah.
course these guys are working
that one,
for it.
baseball. Baseball, I think, is more of a brain sport than a physical sport. It is somewhat physical, but I'd say like if you had 100%, I'd say 70% was mental and 30% was physical.
Mm.
Maybe
Yeah, that-
60,
no, it
40.
make-
Maybe 60-40.
I mean,
for some positions. A pitcher,
Yeah, yeah.
a pitcher
varies.
is like
It
50-50.
starts at the low. Yeah,
You know?
okay. Yeah. I agree with that for sure.
It's a tough sport.
It's insanely hard. Like, if you imagine how hard it is to hit a ball that's going like 90 miles an hour.
It's impossible to have the reaction time. So all it is they have to watch what the pitcher's doing because there's the brain can't take in that amount of time. Like how far away it is from the mound.
You're not
to
catching
get
it
to
if
the
you
plate.
just,
The brain can't react in that amount of time anyways. So you have the only thing that you can watch is the pitcher and predicting on what this pitcher has done in the past. So you have to think like, is this guy gonna throw a curveball right now? It's usually 2-1, and he throws a curveball usually right now. You know what I mean? So that's where it is. That's how mental it is. It's crazy mental.
I always thought it was something like they were, I don't know, trying to follow some sort of rhythmic vibe between them. Like, what the fuck? How do you do that? This thing is tiny. It's flying 90 miles an hour. Miss me with that. Literally. I don't want to get hit with that.
Nah. I've seen like players get hit in the face with that.
They die.
Yeah. Or
These
you get,
guys will die.
like just like facial like bones shattered. Like
Yeah.
crazy, yeah.
Eyeballs popping out of
when
the
I played
sockets just off a curveball. Bing!
When I played in Little League, I played Little League at Mount Pleasant, right? And this kid got hit in the face. This kid got hit in the face with a Little League pitch, and his face got like really, really messed up. And this is a Little League.
They was roasting him the whole school.
I played a Little League, man, and my coach in practice hit me with a fastball in the back.
He was like, "This is prepping you for real life.
Just in the back, right? And
it
and it hurt.
sucked.
This
so
is prepping
bad,
you for
dude.
game time."
That's like a nice.
That made me
used to it.
nervous every
That's
time
like
I
a
went to
nice-
the plate after that. Every time, yo, I was
I
like,
can't,
oh, man, I
yeah.
don't want to get hit by the ball.
Yeah, so
that
that-
shit
yeah.
hurt.
Or
yo.
or what if you were the pitcher and you just didn't like somebody, so it's just like, fuck this
That's
guy.
how it is.
Yo, you
Bing!
can fuck somebody
That's how
up.
it is.
Just right off the beam.
That's why
when
there's
these dudes
that's why
chase
there's
them on the
fights.
mound and shit.
What?
That's why there's fights and
Because they be picking him off, right?
because it's like if you have maybe like
just fucking with him.
maybe maybe a pitcher on the all right, say
That's
the Yankees.
him fucking with you. It's
So
just
like like a pitcher on the Yankees would like throw an inside pitch to somebody on the Red Sox
Yeah.
and then remember that the next time around and be like, "Yo, you brushed me off the last time.
yeah.
Now my pitcher's going to get you."
Jesus Christ.
And then that's what usually starts those little
yeah,
those
and you know,
little wars.
and a lot of people won't even know. It'll just be a secret code that's
Yeah.
just like, fucking with you, fucking with you, fucking with you, fucking with you, fucking with you.
Did you ever see Yo, we gotta integrate video clips into this somehow. By the
Somehow,
way.
some
Side
way.
note, but like if I could do that right now, I would look up. And this happened in Pawtucket. Have you guys ever seen that? Where there was a beef on the field like during the game, and the dude the batter gets like brushed back by the pitch.
Oh my God.
And usually if the batter runs after the pitcher, the catcher will be right behind him and try to stop him.
Yeah.
So what this guy does is he gets brushed back or hit by the pitch. I can't remember if he got hit. Gets hit by the pitch, and then to make sure that the catcher doesn't run after him, he just like side back like horse kicks the catcher right in the chest and runs to the mound.
Yeah,
full speed.
dude. Hell yeah.
That happened in Pawtucket.
That's what I'm talking about.
That happened in Pawtucket. This
That's
dude,
like-
this dude goes
just donkey kicked him.
just donkey kicked him right in the chest, and
Oh,
the catcher
like-
flies back, and he runs, and he runs, and he runs.
That's right, folks. Oh my God. That's fucking awesome. We need to applaud men like that.
That's wild.
He knows what's gonna happen to him. He's just like,
If I'm the catcher, yo, I'm fucking my teammate up, man.
No, there was a huge brawl. The dugouts. I think the dugouts.
There's
cleared
there's
out.
probably brawls in the parking
The
lot.
ref
yo.
jumped in. You know?
The mascots were fucking beefing it out in the parking lot.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
that's usually what happens.
Oh my God.
The umpire, whatever the fuck.
They go
jumps
hard.
in
They
and
go
shit.
hard because
Ugh.
fighting is such a rarity in baseball that it's like,
It's a part of baseball too, though. Like hockey.
Yo,
oh, but hockey
is
fighting
nuts.
That's
is
different.
every fucking
You want to talk
game.
about a sport that's like probably 95% physical and 5% mental? That's the one.
they fuck each
No,
other
it's
up,
very.
man.
They're very fucking mental. Those guys.
Yeah,
are
but imagine
fucking
doing that on skates.
Insane.
You're
Those
fighting
guys
on
are
ice
insane.
skates.
I used to play hockey.
What? What position?
defense, like right defense.
Oh shit, right
Yeah.
D.
Did you ever get in a fight?
Okay.
No, when I played. You couldn't really even like check much because it was like kids leagues. I stopped playing when I was like 13, but I played from probably when I was like 5.
You get into any fights?
No, like little,
Oh,
like
come
little
on.
things where I would like
No
maybe,
fights?
maybe I elbowed somebody in
Yeah.
the face, but you'd get a penalty because you'd get kicked out and like suspended for 2 games because
It wasn't worth it.
it's kids
You
leagues
weighed
like
the-
pee-wees. You know what I mean? It's just a kid.
It's pews.
10 years
yeah, that's what they
old.
call it.
Yeah.
Like pee-wees or like
So you was nice with the back skating then.
yeah, it was
Since
good.
you was D.
Probably better then than I am now. I haven't skated in a long ass time, but I could
Hockey
I could
is
still get on
fun
skates.
though. I like hockey a
still.
lot.
Hockey's mad fun.
I don't like to watch it very much. It's so fast paced.
It
It's
is
just
really
like where
fast.
the hell is the puck that they're supposedly chasing? I don't know if it's even here.
Yeah.
These guys don't even have a puck. They don't even know it. They're just like hawks. I'm like, just show me all the fights.
For real. Just watch the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah,
Fight on ice.
Fight
That's
highlights.
it.
fights on ice
Fights on ice. You
It's
can see
like-
some wild shit on YouTube about hockey. Like
on YouTube.
I've seen like hockey players, like the goalies. I've seen a goalie, like I forgot what team it was on. Maybe it was like the Buffalo Sabres, that got his neck like gashed open on the ice.
I've heard of that shit happening.
He lived though. I think he lived. I've seen that. I've seen that happen a couple times.
Why did he live?
They
That's
ru-
insane.
They rushed him. They rushed him to the hospital. Like they knew right away. Like he lost like a crazy amount of blood in like 2 seconds. In like 2 seconds, it was like the biggest puddle of blood on the ice.
Probably got the jugular.
It did.
Jesus, that's usually
And
dead.
what
That's
what
usually
probably
equates to death.
what probably
instantly.
helped him out a lot is that he was like usually hockey arenas.
He was on
are-
ice already.
Arenas are
Stiffened
in
up.
arenas are in like major cities usually. So it's probably a hospital like really close.
I don't know. Maybe the blood flow was different based on the temperature difference too. I don't know.
Wouldn't want to be that guy.
There's a number of things that corresponded to this young man surviving.
Fast reactions.
Is it divine intervention or science as we know it? We'll find out more when we go to our guest.
Talk about the guest.
So
Wanna talk about the guest.
yeah, we can.
It's almost that time. I
It
think.
basically is that time. I say, let's give this man a long opening, introduction. No, Paul Eno he was one of the first paranormal investigators. And one of the things that fascinated me about this dude was the fact that early on in his career, he was actually pursuing, and he can correct me on anything that I misspeak on. We can clarify up the yin yang, I'm sure. He's going to be breaking it all down for us. But he was pursuing the clergy. He was going into priesthood, which is an interesting thing because, I mean, in terms of his also the interest in the paranormal. Maybe there was some clashing. Maybe there was the questions versus the thing that proposes to have all the answers. He studied, or some of his earlier influences and people that mentored him along the way were actually the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren. You know the movie, the Annabelle movie, The Conjuring. You guys don't know
Conjuring.
that?
I know The
Yeah, The
Conjuring. I haven't
Conjuring,
seen it.
Annabelle.
There's 2 of them, right? I
Ed
haven't
and
seen them.
Lorraine Warren are the ones that are the couple that are like looking around and figuring stuff
Oh.
out. I mean, that's just that's just a good soundbite for anybody who doesn't know much about this stuff but wants to learn, and a little bit of familiarity helps you out with sparking that initial interest. I mean, this guy's got a lot of interesting ideas, and he knows his stuff too. He can break it down in a way that is very tangible, in a way that a lot of quote-unquote conspiracy theories might not be. He breaks it down in a way and makes it a way that is it's realistic. These things aren't just conspiracies, and they shouldn't be treated as it. They're possibilities. So, without further ado, I'd like to bring up Paul Eno. He's the man. He's dressed to the nines.
Thanks very much, John.
Yeah. So, how are you? First and foremost, how's your day going?
Well, I'm better than nothing.
Driving
and,
through New England.
It's a big bachelor week for me because my wife is down on her weekly girls' day out or week out in Philadelphia with my cousins. So it's a big bachelor week for my older son and me.
All right.
Not that I don't miss her. I miss her.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
You're very welcome. Thank
We appreciate
It's an honor
it.
to be on your first show.
It's an honor to be doing a first show. Not a lot of people can put something like this together, and I'm
A lot goes in.
really lucky. So, but yeah,
be a
welcome
lot
to
of fun.
Lunch in the Morning. This is Larry O, who you met earlier.
Yep.
All right.
So first things first, we can start with pursuing the priesthood. You know, we can kind of start there. And if you're comfortable talking about your father at all and how that might have affected some of the,
You're well informed.
I do some research, but I mean we don't, you know.
He prepares for everything. This guy.
I got
wow.
to. I got a million things going. I can't be behind the curve.
There's one thing I would correct in your bio, though.
Yeah.
I'm not really one of the first paranormal investigators. That would have been in the 1830s, and I'm not quite that old. Getting there, so I'm more like 1970. But other than that, pretty good.
Oh, all right. Well, there we are, clarified. So it's an old realm of research then, you know.
Well, pretty much. Of course, people, if you go back, as a matter of fact, in our first chapter of our 2016 book, Our being my son and me, Ben, we talk about the history of the paranormal, and you can go back to really way back before the last ice age. I mean, this was kind of a thing that maybe even involved the genetic manipulation of the human species, one form or another. Sure, everybody watches Ancient Aliens, but that might not quite be how it happened. So it goes way back.
So are you a believer that that we were planted here by aliens? Do you understand that to be somewhat of a reality? I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd put it quite that way, John. Maybe. And the first thing my son and I always say is we could be wrong. You know, you just don't know. The more you learn about this stuff, the more you realize you don't know, which to me is the measure of intelligence.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think that we look at some of the actual evidence, which is, for example, in 2004, the Human Genome Project was completed, mapping the human genome, all the different genes in the human body and how we're put together. But the funny thing was that there were 223 genes that shouldn't be there if human evolution, as we understand it, is correct. So what they did, of course, scientists will very often invent stopgap theories to explain gaps in the theories. And that's not necessarily a bad idea. And then they try to prove that those exist.
Yeah.
So the idea here was that there was I'm quoting here, horizontal transfer from bacteria is where those genes get. Now, I don't even know what that means.
Huh.
The only thing I can think of is that bacteria changed our genes, our genetics.
Ingesting inhalation of it? Is that
How?
what
Well,
that
the
could
bacteria would
possibly
have to
mean?
have fantastic technology
Yeah.
for gene splitting in order to do that.
Maybe
so
that's
evolution?
what we're
Who
dealing
knows?
Is that
So, could be some sort of outside influence. We have some
Yeah.
theories about that.
What about it? I mean,
know,
I
could
just
be.
I just saw Alien Covenant. We can talk about sci-fi and how you think it, you know, is affected or effective in its all this, but the way that they were showing some of the parasite, the way that it would evolve is through inhalation. So what if, you know, we weren't, you know, the idea is that there were men, you know, walking around, alien men walking around on the earth, showing us all kinds of stuff, but it becomes hard to prove the existence of these guys. But what if it was some sort of alteration in our DNA, artificially imposed buyouts? Is that...
Yeah, that's certainly possible. One of the things that I researched, and I went to Temple Beth El in Providence just to learn Hebrew, and they very kindly taught me enough, I think, to get through the book of Genesis. Because in the seminary, excuse me, had to study Greek, and that was no picnic. But when you read the New Testament in the original language as original, but the problem with that too is that we don't know what the original words actually were, but they were in Greek apparently. They don't say what they say in English. And the same thing is true with Genesis in Hebrew. And there are other documents written about that same period of the creation and all this that came afterwards. And one is the Atrahasis of the Akkadian Empire, which most people never heard of, but it was the first known empire. There was the and the Karsag epics of the Babylonian, of the Sumerians, I should say. And they all say pretty much the same thing as Genesis does. There was somebody, some group of people arrived from somewhere, or we might say
and
somewhere.
perpetuated this origin of life.
And started something. In the Karsag epics, it says that the original inhabitants of the area ate grass and lived in caves. I mean, I don't know. I think we could at least have done hamburgers or something, but whatever. So whatever that was going on, apparently someone came and founded this huge agricultural colony. And how does that come across in Genesis? Eden. Or there's still, in the Kadisha Valley of Lebanon, there's still a town called Ekden, which is, of course, spelled almost the same way, and it's got all the same traditions, and this ridiculously old examples of agricultural work, canals, things of this kind. So maybe there's a connection here. So we may be going way back in these ancient documents. And what is legend? Legend is the vessel of the memory of the human race.
Yep.
So maybe that's more historical than we think. We just don't know, but it's pretty weird.
So when you see all these different versions of what, like, I don't know, there's tons of documentaries that talk about how religions all have this overlapping, identical theme, at least in the Old Testament. When in terms of the character of Jesus Christ, being born on a certain day, dying on a certain day, doing certain things in his lifetime, but there's blocks of time that these different pieces of history were taking.
Yeah, there's very little known about his early life, for example.
And that connectivity so far before mass global travel is so interesting to me. That somehow, some way, these stories did get across these continents.
Yeah, right. There's a very similar folklore and a lot of similar legends between all these peoples. For example, in researching one of the books in the early part of the last decade, seems like a long time ago, I did a lot of research on who really the most ancient people are. And you come up with the Australian Aborigines. And I spent, in 1979, I was in Australia in the line of duty, and I spent 8 hours. I was waiting for extraction outside Melbourne, and I spent 8 hours talking to a little guy named Mindalooey, who was an Australian Aboriginal elder. And I was very lucky because they usually don't talk